lunch, dude.
What's up, everyone? We're back with another episode of Candid Coffee. I'm Doug, and today is a really special episode. I'm joined today by Phil.
Hey, I'm Phil.
Yeah, he's the owner of Corvus Coffee and founder, started it back in 2010. And today we're tasting a really special coffee today. It's in a super cool box. It's one of the new Colombians we got in from a very awesome, probably the most famous and best producer in Colombia, from Cundinamarca, Colombia, right in central Colombia. La Palma y El Tucan. And if you remember any of the coffees we had in the past, La Misión, La Abuela, these really awesome, tasty coffees. This is maybe my favorite. We'll see of these. Anyway, I just brewed it up, and we'll be tasting it here for you guys. Thanks. Alrighty. Phil, do you want to tell us a little bit about why you started Corvus and why you're excited about this coffee?
Sure. I started Corvus to find coffees like this, in part, to be honest. This is a super special project. I've worked with them for 5 years now. It's one of the first places actually I went to origin, was to their farm. And they have a real intense focus on revitalizing the coffee region in Cundinamarca, which has undergone some not so great changes over the last 10-15 years as a result of the Colombian Coffee Federation emphasizing quantity over quality. And they, in a similar way that we focus on sustainability, they have really focused on quality as the essential foundation for sustainability. They have some infrastructure support for farmers in the form of a really high-tech wet mill. They provide agronomical support. There's a couple full-time agronomists that are fully at the disposal of the farmers in this project throughout Cundinamarca. And they also, a very unique and very essential kind of underlooked struggle in coffee. They have provided actually training and teams of pickers that are just tied to the project to go around and pick coffee for these farmers. And a lot of those farmers in that area are aging, their children have left the farm. It's been really difficult for them to maintain even basic production. But Felipe and Lisa, the founders of La Palma, have seen a vision of quality providing sustainability for these farmers, and I've seen it firsthand. It's been pretty incredible to see farmers whose infrastructure at their farm has been essentially falling apart around them. That's not metaphorical, literally falling apart around them, with no kind of hope for improving it. And this project has completely reversed that 180 degrees for hundreds of farmers in this area. So, like I said, not to overemphasize it, but it's been done through quality. Like, their focus is producing some of the best coffees with the most unique processing methods, and the proof is in the cup. So it's not like you're doing a favor to anyone drinking this coffee. It's an exceptional cup of coffee, and as a result of that quality, you're just helping uplift an entire region, and that's not an overstatement, I don't believe.
Yeah, it was really cool. We actually got to, as a whole staff, got to video Skype Felipe the other night and ask him a lot of questions, and he told us about the coffee and how it was processed and everything. Let's actually give it a taste, as it's getting really cool to, or not that cool enough for us to really be able to taste how it's opened up and everything. For me, this coffee has been really, really bright, really fruity, very complex. It is a honey process, but there's a little bit of a special process there, which I can mention really quick here.
Yeah, for me it has a lot of depth to the acidity. There's some winey characteristics, there's some tropical fruit characteristics that I really like. But one of the things that makes it so complex for me is that there's very distinct creaminess to the cup, which is sometimes not what you expect in a winey tropical cup of coffee.
Body's not something I'm super sensitive to, but first sip, even before flavor, I'm like, wow, this is a really creamy syrupy coffee for sure.
Yeah, and that goes really well in this cup. It adds just a ton of complexity to it.
Yeah, this is a honey processed coffee, but it's not just like any honey process. The cherries are actually, before the seeds come out of the cherry, they're actually sealed up in bags, and all the air is sucked out to create an anaerobic environment so that a particular type of bacteria, lactobacillus, can create and change the flavors in a particular direction that Felipe and his crew can actually control. So it sits like that for about 30 to 40 hours before the rest of the honey processing happens, which is really cool. So super unique. It's not like just honey processing. I can't even. You have to try this coffee. I can't even describe how awesome it is right now. Actually.
Yeah, they do it in tanks. They do it in stainless tanks, and they actually take measurements on like the pH, the Brix level, the amount of moisture in the cherry itself, the juice in the cherry, and they use those metrics to. They've created like processing profiles for coffees, which is really on the forefront of how farmers are thinking about things. We think a lot in terms of profiles here at the roastery, but there's a huge opportunity that they've been capitalizing on in lining up different profiles with different metrics on the cherries that are coming in from the farmers in this project, or from their own farm. They also have a farm, which is cool. And this honey process has undergone, like Doug was saying, an anaerobic pre-fermentation, which promotes lactic acid, which leads to some of that creaminess in the cup.
Yeah, we're talking state-of-the-art stuff here, guys, and this is not the only coffee that we're going to have from these guys this season. It's not the only, we've had others in the past. There's definitely going to be more in the future. This is one of those relationships that we really value. So keep an eye out for those, but while you can, definitely grab a hold of this coffee. Come to the shop, order it online, whatever. That's enough, commercial for that. It's really awesome. It's one of these, like, tip-of-the-iceberg coffees that I'm always talking about that gets me excited about coffee still. So definitely come in and try that. It's just starting the season for us, but it won't last long. So, and we're always, brewing up new and exciting coffees like that around Corvus. So, thanks for joining us, and we'll catch you in the next episode.